This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 628 for November 4th, 2019. So you're telling me it's a charm?
I love dangly bits. You'll find it in a cereal, maybe.
Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Quick piece of warning here. Next week, we're not going to be live or anything like that. Got a mailbag episode because I'm going to be out of town. All the rest of the stuff that's regularly scheduled should be happening, but no live stream or anything. So check the YouTube channel for a video of that. We did make one. Keep an eye out. Something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers.
Teespring.com/ThatVideoGamePodcast, I think.
Yes. If you're watching the video, the Nymph is wearing our most recent release.
The dumbest of releases.
The dumbest of releases. The We Know shirt. So go scoop that up.
It is the best of releases. You should only buy it in the parchment-colored setup that Boston has as default because it comes out really good.
The recommended color. Yeah. It very much does look like a parchment that mascot character would send you. He knows what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
He always knows. Yeah. All right, let's get into it. Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so I'm going to leave my let's all talk about this game together till last.
Okay.
We all know what game that is. We don't have to talk about it right now. So played a little bit of Apex Legends. Not a whole lot to talk about on this one. Mostly I was playing this by myself. Trying to get the dailies and the weeklies and the challenges done because I got a sweet battle pass there. I need to get to level 110 for the first time ever. I'm enjoying it, as I always do. The Halloween event, I've kind of fallen off a little bit because I'm not great. So I tend to get killed real early and not have a hope in hell of actually, escaping on the dropship.
Sure.
And honestly, I've got the two skins I wanted from it, which was the machine gun skin and some other skin that I don't know.
Very memorable skin.
Yes. I got the skins I wanted, so I'm fine. So Apex is just a case of hop in, play a little bit, play some ranked, which the ranked is actually surprisingly well done in there. You gain points based on performances, and it seems to reset every season, so you end up being ranked pretty solidly with people in your skill level. I do better at ranked than I do at normal mode, which tells me that its matchmaking is working well.
Okay.
And then I played Dead by Daylight, specifically Dead by Friday.
Uh-huh.
So, firstly, shout out to T-Bomb Rocks, Brain Eater, and special guest appearance by BTG Inferno, another community member.
Nice.
Who all jumped in for Dead by Friday. We had an okay start, a really rough middle, and then a solid banger to close out the night where we all just escaped, fooling this killer.
Okay.
We were against some pretty solid killers because, unbeknownst to me, it's a double blood points weekend.
Aha.
It's our Halloween event got bugged, so we're doing this a little bit later than normal kind of thing.
Sure.
Something I didn't know until I loaded up the game was part of this huge new update they've got. Dead by Daylight has a season pass now.
Aha. Just like everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Like everybody else. And stop me if you've heard this before, but it has a free path and a premium path. That you view the rewards as you go along the bar. You can upgrade at any time you want and get all of the premium rewards up to that point.
Oh, goodness.
It's $8.99.
That's not bad.
So it's not the solid $10-15 that other companies might be charging. It does the same thing that other season passes do, where if you get all the way to the end, you get that premium currency back so that you can potentially spend that on the next season pass.
Right.
I bought it sight unseen.
Sure.
Like the second I realized there was a premium season pass, I was like, I've put more than 5 days into this game.
Yeah.
And between my wife and I buying all of the DLC for the game, I want to keep supporting them because I feel like they deserve it.
Especially for less than $10. It's like, you know you're going to get that value immediately.
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter what the rewards are. I'm just going to support you. They have a quest system now, very similar to other...
Wow.
Like, Apex is like weekly quests and stuff like that. It's very similar to that. So it's heal a total of 4 total health states as survivors. Similar to the daily stuff, except it gives you bonus blood point rewards and experience towards your season pass level.
Right.
I don't know why they didn't call it a blood pass or some stupid blood pun.
Right.
It's called the Rift.
It's a good name.
Part of these challenges, though, is now they have audio logs and lore and a whole bunch of other stuff built into this like challenge system.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
So you can go in and listen to people read this audio log about these killers and survivors and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I like it.
And now they've got charms.
No!
Yeah.
What do they put the charms on?
Okay, so this is the funny part. Because with killers, you're in a bit of a pickle. So we'll go over killers last.
Okay.
Survivors, I assumed that they would do a Division 2 thing with the charms, where it's just like they will find some place to hang the dangly bits.
Yeah, Division 2 is on their backpack.
Yep, to the very bottom of the backpack, so you can very clearly see it. And it dangles and wibbles quite funnily.
My skeleton dangling there.
My space shuttle does the same thing.
Yeah.
So on the survivors, it's on the right-hand side of their hip. Wait, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Left side of the hip, I should say. And it's a dangly belt chain, essentially.
Okay.
Except you can equip 3.
Ooh.
So it's like a little row of 3 dangly keychains attached to the belt of the survivors.
Turns into a weird metallic castle.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 3 that you get for buying the season pass are a little model of Claudette Morel, who's one of the survivors, yelling, going like, ah, and it's like a cute little thing. The second one is a orange flower, which looks like it's a flower from one of the levels. And the third one, I think, was just like a little logo. It's like, cool, that's fine. Then you get to the killers. So it'd be easy enough with the homegrown killers to find some place to put the dangly bits on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it doesn't really matter what you do with the hillbilly. It doesn't matter what you do with the trapper. It doesn't matter what you do with these other idiots. Because the Dead by Daylight company has all of the rights to those. But something tells me that big corporations aren't going to want a little dangly figure sticking off Freddy's back.
Exactly.
And the killer's a first person anyway.
Okay.
So they're on the hooks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, yeah.
That's the other thing, too, because not all the killers have weapons that I've seen. Some of them just use their hands and stuff, too. So
some of them just vomit everywhere.
Yeah, so I was kind of curious.
Just vomiting up charms.
I was going to say, does somebody just have like a thumb ring charm or something, or what's going on?
It would be hilarious if the hag who uses her long nails literally had like little, like nail glamour or something for hair stuff.
That'd be great.
But no, they attach them to the hooks, and on the on the survivor side, they're tiny. They're appropriately sized little dangly things that you can see. On the hooks, these things are like, the figures are like 2 feet tall. It's like this giant like thing hanging off the side of the hook. It's so dumb and so hilarious.
What kind of charms do they have so far?
So I've gone through and I've had a look, and it's basically themed around different people, different costume packs and stuff like that. Like, there is the McMillan Estate logo, which is the logo you start with when you buy the premium pass, I think. And the McMillan Estate is the home of the Trapper. That's his map. So it's all based around him being a rich boy who basically murdered a bunch of his workers and then became this serial killer guy. So it's his logo associated with him. Like, as Claudette's got the little figurine kind of thing. The flower is associated with them. But I had to look down, and there is some really, really dumb ones. Like, one of Claudette's perks is botany knowledge. So she can heal people really quick because she's good with plants. One of the charms you can get later on is a little house plant that you can just attach to these people.
That's really good.
But they do have, like, killer and survivor specific ones too. Like, there's generic ones, and then there's one specifically for each side. And there's also a whole bunch of costumes. A whole bunch of costumes. Like, included within this, like, different jackets, faces, outfits, whatever. So, yeah, I bought the season pass. and I don't regret it.
No, I mean, you're basically like tossing $10 in a tip jar.
Yeah, pretty much that's how I viewed it. And honestly, even if I only play the game like every Friday, which I probably won't, I will probably be a bit more focused about getting my dailies in it done now. But even if I play the game every Friday, I'm still going to make enough progress to where I don't need to worry about it. Having those challenges associated with the text logs now gives me a goal. It gives me something to focus on other than just A, grinding out achievements.
Right.
And B, getting excessive blood points that I don't actually need anymore because I've got my Legion where I want him. He's my chosen killer. I've got my David where I want him. He's my chosen survivor. So it's like, okay, what do I do with all these blood points other than just pump them into people who I don't care about so I can try and get their skills?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, now I've got these challenges and these specific goals that I can actually aim for. So it's like, the best thing about the challenges, they have survivor track and a killer track. So you activate one of the challenges, you go for that, and then let's say suddenly 3 people jump on who want to play. You can change that challenge to a different one and not lose progress in the original challenge if you haven't completed it.
Great. That's nice.
So it's like, yeah, okay, I'm in. I don't care. I'm in.
Just you won. Pulling you back in, pulling you further in.
Yeah, it's okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Plus, it's Dead by Daylight, and I love the game, so I'm perfectly happy playing it. Speaking of achievements in Dead by Daylight, though, we have all heard me bemoan the nature of the adept achievements.
Yes.
Yeah, I got this adept pig, and I got the adept cannibal.
What's up?
So that means I am now almost done with the Soul Lady. So the Soul Lady, I now have her stupid adept achievement. And the cannibal, otherwise known as Leatherface, I have his adept achievement. So now I'll just got to grind their stuff out and I'll be fine. And sure, I'll chainsaw 100 people eventually. I'll put 125 bear traps on people eventually.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, now I've got reasons to, especially considering some of those challenges in the new like season pass thing are killer specific or ability specific. So it's like the next one for my killers, I think, is to smash 5 pallets or generators while I have the brute strength perk attached. The brute strength perk is specifically for the trapper, so I have to play as the trapper unless I've unlocked his perk for elsewhere, but I don't because the trapper sucks. Sorry, T-Bomb, he does. I have to play as him to get that perk, to use that perk to do this mission, but that's fine because I can jump in and do some trapper stuff. And it's like, cool, spend some blood points, earn some blood points, get my cosmetics up, get all the stupid stuff.
Get that season rank up, yeah.
What have I done to myself?
You found a game that you really like.
Yeah, that's how true. Dare you?
All we need is an Elite Dangerous season pass, and then basically I'm playing 3 games for the rest of my life.
I'll never see the two of you ever again.
Which, hey, since we're talking about Elite, I'm just going to do it publicly. Angel, I'm sorry I have not been able to play with you recently.
No, he's not. He's not.
No, I am.
Sometimes life gets in the way of exploring space.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Or, different planets or anything else that you want to do in video games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Dead by Daylight. I still love Dead by Daylight. It's great and fun.
Go play it. Moon Pier on Xbox One.
Yes. Thank you again, everybody, who shows up for Dead by Friday. If we get one more, we can have private matches and just scare each other to bejesus. So, that's fun. So, let's talk about my last game this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Outer Worlds.
Yep. I have made it. I finished the first dungeon on Roseway.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay. That science, the secret dungeon that just has a sign on the outside that just says "This is a secret dungeon." It's like a secret lab.
the secret lab that's past the not so secret lab.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really great.
So you've done the first town thing.
Did Edgewater? Yes, I have. I have made my decision.
Okay.
And I made the wrong one. So. I don't want to spoil it too much because it's still early days in this game, but basically you're trying to decide who to take power from of these two factions. And
by power, he doesn't mean political power, he means electrical power.
Yeah,
power
and
core.
the great and terrible thing about this decision is you see it coming from a mile away. And you get all the information and everybody weighs in, and you still have to push the button to do something.
Yep.
I took power away from the outside camp.
Okay.
Which gave me an option I was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and did that option, and I reunited people. And I felt really great about myself, thinking, all right, I came to a really great decision. And I get back to my ship, and I go to the captain's quarters, and I look at the new sign that's in my quarters, the big Edgewater fishing cannery sign, and it says, essentially, you have reunited the town of Edgewater, but taught them not to dream. I was like,
I don't have that one because I went with the other one, so I have a plant in my
Me too.
room. Yeah.
Aha, interesting.
So
I might... that sign has guilted me into next time definitely trying out the other option.
So, honestly, I made the other option, and I still don't know if that's the right choice, especially after conversations that I had after making that choice.
Especially probably with Parvati.
No, she understands. She's relatively okay with the whole thing.
Because Parvati is one of the best characters of 2019. She understands.
Yes, she is. But no, it's the conversation with the leader of that camp.
Gotcha.
Where you find out future plans, and you're like, whoa. Hold on a minute now. This wasn't a deal.
Right.
Also, I still think there's something fishy about that fertilizer. And I've got a sneaking suspicion I know.
Did you find out what it is?
No, I didn't.
They never come out and say anything specific about it.
Oh, they definitely do. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I need to dig around more.
Did you find out this before you made the decision or after?
I definitely did. And I still made that decision. I found out. I questioned her, and I found out exactly what the fertilizer is made out of. We can talk about it offline.
I couldn't actually find out.
I didn't find out anything either. There was a lot of things that I found that were hinting towards what it is or what it could be, but I never found anything concrete. By that time, I think I had like 45 in science, so I was able to ask her like, "Hey, like scientifically, what is this stuff?" And she was like, "Oh, it's this," and I was like, "Okay, cool."
So I'm guessing that is one of the reasons why you made the other choice, and that is one of the reasons why I'm suspicious if I made the wrong choice.
Well, part of it is combining the fact that she has figured out how to create this fertilizer to grow plants again on this previously dead planet, along with finding out what the diet of Edgewater people really is.
Yeah.
Combining those two, thinking, we need a little bit of dietary variety here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Moon, how far are you in the game?
I'm done with Rosewood.
Okay.
I've been to the relay station.
Okay.
Which is just a little side mission. That's a nice quick thing.
I'm Devil's Peak or whatever.
I am on Monarch. I'm not at the mountain yet.
Oh, okay.
I am in Fallbrook at the moment on Monarch, which is the second city on Monarch. I haven't gone to the quote-unquote dangerous landing pad yet because I'm on supernova difficulty and I want to be as high level as I can possibly be before I go there.
It's
right.
I've landed in that area and it's not that bad. Just expect a lot of resistance real quick.
Okay.
I'm actually a lot further than you guys are, apparently, because I am heading to a prison. And I am not going to say how or why, but I've done a lot of big story events, and now I'm heading to a prison. And I've learned a lot about what's happening in the system now, because it feels like I'm hitting the end of the game right now.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird, because there's a lot of places I haven't been to yet on the map.
Mm.
So I don't think I'm actually at the end of the game, but it definitely feels like I am.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I'm hearing most people saying they're finishing it in around 20 hours.
I'm 17 hours in, and I'm not.
Well, you're on Supernova, so
I'm like
you got to take your time.
I'm like 33 hours in this game right now.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying 20, and I think that's a lot of people not doing every single side mission, but that ain't me, man.
If that's the case, then what are these people doing if you're not doing the side missions in this game?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I part of what makes me so excited about it is a lot of people are saying that the game is, in RPG terms, fairly short, like a 25 to 30 hour experience, which I really like, because I want to go through and I want to do all the opposite choices of the big ones I've missed. Like, I want to go make the opposite choice on that first one. I want to make some different choices with some different companions.
Like, it's actually something that I talked about with my wife this week, is like, this is one of the first times I've been playing a game and immediately been thinking to myself, what am I going to do on my second playthrough?
Yep.
Like,
how am I going to build my character? Who am I going to pick up?
I already have it planned out in my head. I'm going to make the dude who is the stupidest dude on the face of the planet, and I'm going to make him a corporate shill and sell everybody out. You want to know where the scientist dude is? I'll tell you in the first 2 minutes of the game. Thank you very much. You want to know how to open this door? You smash it with a sledgehammer. It's going to be
over your
kind
face.
of guy.
Well, that's the thing, too, because I really like the character that I've made lore-wise and developed system. I want to play it a second time, because I think I would just fall right back into what I'm doing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm going to have to avoid doing the Skyrim thing of eventually I just become a stealth archer guy.
Right.
Like, I'm going to have to avoid that, and like, I will probably bump it to the easiest difficulty and just literally go around smashing people with melee weapons, because on Supernova difficulty, melee is not great. Melee is a real quick way to get yourself a broken ankle and then have to limp back to your ship so you can heal your broken ankle to go back out again. So, everybody's ranged. Out of curiosity, parties, who are you rolling with? Who have you rolled with? Who have you preferred, kind of thing?
Parvati and Ellie for me.
I'm using Ellie and the female mercenary, Nickel. I can't remember her name now.
Naoka.
I haven't run into her.
Yeah, I had a thing going on Discord about, we were talking about Sam, and every time I get that type of companion, I'm always disappointed that they're not a different companion that I had, 12, 15 years ago.
Always disappointed that they're not HK
47.
Yes, HK 47.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I rolled with the Vicar and Parvati for the longest time, which is always interesting because they know each other from the town. They talk about like the different things they came up with. Then I rolled with Ellie and Parvati for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good combo.
Makes me laugh because they're about as opposite as they can be.
Yep.
And I love Parvati's innocence. Like, we walked into Fallbrook, and hopefully if you have her in your party, you'll get the same audio cue, dude. But we walked into Fallbrook, and she literally stopped dead and was like, Captain, can I stand a little closer to you? Because these people all look at me like that, like I'm food, and they're hungry. And it's a town full of con men, and they know that she is an easy mark.
Right.
So it's nice little touches like that. And then I started rolling with Naoka and Parvati. Parvati is the common theme here.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about Naoka right now. Being a raging alcoholic.
That's kind of the reason why I kept her in my party. with Ellie.
Yeah. Did you guys pick up Felix?
I've got everybody.
We did. I did, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm scooping up orphans like it's my job. It's like, you want to come on my ship?
Really
Hell yeah.
fast in this game. Because I think I was maybe
it's really
7
nice.
hours into it, and all of a sudden I had everybody.
Yeah, it's really nice.
With Rosewood, like as soon as you're done with Rosewood, you're missing one, and you can get them as soon as you get to Monarch for the first time.
Yeah, I really love how much each one of your companions will jump in and put your 2 cents in during dialogue, and not even like you're working on their companion quest or whatever. Like when you go out and you do Parvati's on what's that ship called? Something Breaker.
The
Groundbreaker. I don't know why I can't remember that place's name. Like I went there with her and Ellie is piping in just as much as Parvati is, and it's like I really like that. That's what reminds me the most of something like an older BioWare game, where it's like something like the Mass Effect trilogy or the Dragon Age games, where it's you have these smaller maps, you have these focused experiences, you have these focused quest lines, and you have a real serious focus on making dialogue choices and having something with your companion. And we were talking about the decision in Edgewater, and part of what I will always love this game for, even if the rest of it just poops the bed, is that there's no like this choice is the renegade choice and this choice is the paragon choice. Like this one's evil, this one's good. It's very much like you need this thing, you have to make a choice. You need to make your choice.
For me and my character is not that hard. There's been a couple of times. One, I was doing something with a faction and I decided I didn't want to do that mission anymore for them, so I did my own thing. I went back and reported it. And that faction was mad, and my closing comment was something very flippant. And one of my characters just spoke up, and they were just like, yeah, come on, Captain, let's go before we have to paint these walls with their blood. And it's like, yeah, because that's what's going to happen. Because I had another mission that I got... I'm not going to spoil anything, but I did something for 2 factions, and later on you can have these 2 factions possibly work together. And that seemed like the better outcome. So I went back, instead of giving this thing to one faction, I went back to talk to the other one to try to get them to do a truce. The other faction decided that because of one choice that I had made with their group, that basically their leader for this faction told me to do something, and like this person who wasn't their leader asked me to do something else for him instead of what the leader wanted them to do.
Is that the iconoclasts that you're talking about? Okay.
I didn't do the thing that the subordinate wanted me to do, and I needed that subordinate support to be able to do the truce. So they were like, well, we can't trust you because you did this. And that just threw my, all right, fine, shove off, because I did the thing that your leader wanted me to do, the person that you followed, that you decided you would die for. So F off, I'm not going to help you. And I went back, gave the thing to the other group, and I was full ready to just shoot my way out of there, even if the game didn't want me to. Like, it wasn't a requirement. I was planning on doing it anyway, but luckily I didn't have to wait, because the game was like, oh, hey, you did this thing, this other faction doesn't like you doing it, so they start attacking. I'm like, oh, good, because I want to take care of this right now. And I did.
Right, I'm just going to take care of the whole problem.
It's astounding how many chances this game gives you to just be the ultimate space D-bag.
Yes.
Like, the writing in your responses is so perfect to some of the things that you can say. It's just, I'm loving, like, this is a masterclass in writing in so many levels.
We were talking about it on Pup. Thankfully, it gives the entire text of your response in the window. And not like you're voiced, but like, I hate when games do this and like, the response in the window is like, can I ask you a question? And what happens is you just shoot them in the face. It's like, it's just like, wait, that's not what I want. What the hell?
I don't know. I find in this game that a lot of my answers involve bullets. So, and that's the thing.
It starts with attack in brackets.
I don't even go out of my way to attack people. I'm not playing this character as a D-bag. This is 100% I'm doing what I believe is best for myself, my ship, my crew, and to help the other people around me. And not everyone sees it that way. And I think that's great that I'm not this, the chosen one that's here to save everybody in everybody's eyes. So a lot of this, like, people or factions start to really rub me the wrong way, where it's like, dude, I am trying to help you. And I swear to God, if you do not let me, I will put a bullet in your head.
Like that you've got, like, a gun down their throat. It's like, let me help you.
Yeah.
But you touch on a great point, too. I really appreciate that Outer Worlds, at least at the beginning, I don't know where the story is going. It doesn't start with you being the chosen one trying to save the universe from certain doom. Mm-hmm. I like that you woke up, you're trying to save the people in your ship, or not, if you just want to turn that scientist in and just do whatever you want. But, like, it's not this thing where it's like, the bad guys are coming after 1,000 years of being asleep and they're going to eat the galaxy. It's like, no, man, you got to find a ship and do ship stuff.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, yes, it's kind of a big problem because this space area is falling apart slowly but surely under all these rules and everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but they've been doing this for decades. I'm sure it will be fine if I wasn't there.
It's not your fault and not your problem in a lot of cases.
Quote-unquote fine. It will be quote-unquote fine if I wasn't there.
Capitalism fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's... Well, which, by the way, I'm loving the fact that Mixer now has stickers for the Outer Worlds.
Oh, okay.
And one of them is the Spacer's Choice Moon logo, which...
Great.
I love that guy. Thank you, Nick, for pointing
out. That guy's so good. I grilled him.
20, 30 minutes of just listening to this guy.
Yeah, his unending sales pitch.
And then the fact that he's still logged onto one of the terminals is hilarious.
Yes. Outer Worlds is really great.
Yeah, it's really great. And honestly, I'm finding Supernova, with the exception of a couple of issues, it's a fun kind of challenge because I have to make sure that everything is in tip-top shape. Like, my guns are fully repaired. I'm always picking up, because I've just started picking up the Mark IIs and the Ultras.
Okay.
So it's essentially Boston. It's like in the Fallout games, which I know you probably weren't a huge fan of. You basically, when you start out, you're getting like a rusty pistol, and then after you hit like level 5, you'll start to get a pistol, and then after you hit level 10, you'll start to get a
well-oiled pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Mark II weapons are like the next tier of weapons, and I've just started getting all of that stuff. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I've got a sniper rifle that I can do some real damage with.
Yeah.
And now I'm just sniping fools.
4 and tier 5 perks, there's a couple of them which are meant for long range people like me, where all of a sudden you are picking people off with critical hits like it's nothing. And it is fantastic.
Yeah,
awesome.
As my wife said on Twitter, it's all about that crit life, baby. Like, it's like you shoot someone and you see like a little 200 pop up, and then you shoot them again and you see 1,000 pop up. It's like, okay, cool. I'm good.
That's where it is.
That's more like it.
And I found in Freefall, apparently you can buy a house in there because I accidentally bought it, not paying attention.
Oh, no.
Which it doesn't matter.
Oh, wow.
And you can't do anything with it. Yeah.
You just own a house now.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
Especially since you have the ship. Great. So it's like, why is this here?
Yeah. You have a flying house.
Yeah. I'm loving the game so much so far. Like, this is pretty much the thing that has sucked my time away this week. It's I will play a round or two of Apex. I will then switch off Apex, load this game up, and sit down for a good 4 hours of just running around and trying to explore and see every single nook and cranny. I bumped into a Mega Beast for the first time, and oh boy, was that scary.
Oh boy.
Yes. It's just, generally speaking, it's a really fun, enjoyable experience that's helped so much by the writing. Like,
yeah.
Everyone is so unique. All the characters are unique. I love the special abilities of the characters. Like, everyone having their own little special ability. Have any of you guys used Felix's special ability?
I was ask you about that because he does a wrestling move.
So everyone's yeah. So, like, Parvati, you use her ability. She slams a hammer down and shocks people nearby.
Right.
The preacher dude, he quotes something about following the law and shoots people with a shotgun.
He sucks.
Ellie's is like a cowboy pirate, space pirate, like
hit the hammer,
kind of thing. Nyoka's is downing a bottle of whiskey and then letting loose with a minigun.
Great.
And Felix's is he runs up to them and does a drop kick. Like,
great.
A straight up drop kick. Just like runs straight at them, 2 feet in the air.
Both feet out.
I did it when I was doing his companion quest. Because I haven't seen his yet. And his icon looked like, I don't know, a grenade or something for a minute. It's like, let's see what this does. And all of a sudden, you just see the slow-mo of him just charge at someone and just, like, bash them into a wall with his kick. And I'm like, wow, that is pretty awesome.
That's great. This game is so good.
Yes. The Outer Worlds.
Outer Wilds, also good.
Yes. Go give it a shot. I think I'm pretty much... That's everything I've been playing if we're done on that game for now.
All right, Nimp, how about you?
So besides Outer Worlds, I've been playing Bloodborne. And I made the mistake of playing it after I got out of work one morning because I was like, I just want to make a little bit of progress. No, and 3 hours later, mostly because this is a game of inches. So you go into areas and you explore them, and the problem that I was coming across was that I did not find another lantern. And this is still the area with the machine gunner, so I was trying to get past him without getting shot, because he comes after you the entire map pretty much. I finally get to a point where I can get inside a building, and there's like a bunch of random crap to fight, kill all them, and I had basically just gotten to a point where it's like I've been in this area long enough and have gone far enough that I feel like there's a boss coming, and I'm getting stupid nervous because I have all these blood echoes. There hasn't been a lantern in forever, so I have no way to spend it. So then I'm starting to weigh. It's like, should I go back to the lantern, cash these all out? But then that also brings back all the enemies in the area that I just cleared out, which isn't so bad now because I know where they're at. But there's this one area in a church that I had found where you're fighting like these half werewolf things, and they can poison you. And it is the biggest pain in the butt fighting. And they ambush you and they charge you in groups. So you're fighting like 5 of these things at a time if you can't separate them. So it's not great. I decided not to go back because I didn't want to redo all that. And I get to this point in this church after clearing it that there's like this huge monster body hanging from the ceiling. It's not moving or anything. No. But I'm like, crap, this is probably it. Because I'm like, this area is big enough for a boss fight. I walk in there, nothing happens. I skirt around the wall, nothing happens. And then I get...
It's like giving the side eye to the whole building.
To twitch. And then I get to the end of the room where the door's at, and there is a pedestal there that has an item on it. And I'm like...
Oh, no.
And I just stand there for like a good 2-3 minutes. Like, should I try the item? Should I chance that this is the flag that goes off and starts this freaking boss fight that I'm afraid of doing? I'm like, well, first let me walk out this door and let me see if it'll even let me leave the area. And it does, and it continues on. I'm like, all right. So I turn back around and I go back and weigh my options. I'm like, well, I have enough potions. I have enough bullets. I feel pretty confident I could take this thing if it happens.
I can do this.
After psyching myself up for this boss fight, grab the item, nothing happens. Okay, so I quickly run out the door, nothing happens. I'm like, all right, so this isn't the boss fight then. So I continue on my merry way of this dumb game, and I get to this point where there's another hunter in this game all of a sudden, and they are acting very sporadically, and it looked like another person was in my game. But the problem was I didn't get the header at all saying that I had been invaded, because they still have that in this game. So I start freaking out a little bit. It's like, well, did I miss it somehow? Because normally it takes up the whole screen and just says, you're being invaded or whatever, and it's all blood red and crap, but nothing popped. And this guy is like running after me. He's being super erratic. He's acting like a player that other players that I've seen hunt other people. So I back way off and I start watching this guy, and come to find out eventually that it is just an NPC that you can fight. And that guy is stupid difficult. Wasted a ton of my resources fighting him. And he's in an area where if you stay in like the lower left-hand area of this tiny arena type thing that you can fight him in, the machine gunner can't shoot you. But as soon as you step out of that area, the machine gunner just goes full bore into just you, not the other hunter. So you're trying to compete with this hunter and the machine gunner guy at the same time while trying to stay in your little area. Finally take this guy out, and I still haven't hit another lantern. I'm still waiting for this other boss fight to happen because it's been a while, and I'm like running out of resources. I'm cutting through shortcuts that I found, trying to find, did I miss something? Did I walk by it?
You're exhausted.
And, that's the other thing. I just got out of work, and it's like 3 hours after that. I am tired, and I know I'm going to make a stupid mistake, and I know it's going to make me mad. So finally, after fighting full-blooded werewolves, a bunch of other semi-werewolves that like to hide in the smoke, which makes it a real pain because this whole area is smoky from things being on fire, I finally find the shortcut that I had brought up last time, where I felt like I came halfway in a shortcut because I couldn't open the door. Ended up on the other side of that door and was able to get back up to that lantern. So,
nice.
Cashed out all my stuff, was able to level up like 5 times and upgrade all my gear and stuff. And that was it for that day. And then because I was like, I need to go to bed at this point. It was like noon. So I came back to it a couple days later because I'm like, I have to be close to a boss. I went probably 5 minutes further into the area where I left off. And I find this area where I can summon an NPC that I had seen earlier. Like, okay, this has to be the boss then, because normally the game doesn't let you summon anything, just sporadically. So I summon the guy, walk into this other cathedral, and boss fight happens. And I managed to beat them first try, but if it wasn't for the fact that I had this person that I had summoned in, this NPC, that wasn't probably going to happen that day, because that boss was rough, even with 2 of us there. So I managed to do a lot of, the NPC would take a lot of its aggro, so then I would attack it from behind, we'd back up, and then I would take a lot of its aggro. That way the NPC would have time to heal up. But, I mean, a couple of hits and you were almost dead, and we were not doing a lot of damage, which was very disheartening because everything else leading up to this point made me feel like, okay, I should be all right for this boss. And like I said, if I did not have that NPC with me, probably was not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
So that's it for that game for right now. I finished that boss, went back, dumped all my blood points and stuff, and I got to figure out where to get out, because all these maps are basically this giant loop. And I'm guessing I missed something because there's not another door after that boss to continue on to the area. So now I got to figure out, okay, where do I go now?
Yeah, right. Which staircase you didn't take down or something.
So that's been a lot of fun. Screw that machine gun guy. Which I can fight him now. I have a shortcut to go fight him. But I did the chicken S thing of I climbed up the ladder and just poked my head over and just kind of looked at his gear, and I'm like, no, I don't think I'm ready for him yet, and just climbed back down.
You're right. I'll see you later.
So after that, played Cold Steel 3. I spent the money, spent $1.99 to buy what is called a ride-along character. And it is a costume item that you can put on your character, and it's basically Donna from E7. And I can it's a doll, it's like a chibi doll that clings to a person's arm. So she's...
So you're saying it's a charm.
Much. And she is on Reen's arm now. And it is funny because she shows up in the cutscenes and everything as well now. So these guys are having this serious conversation, and there is this chibi doll of Donna just on his arm, and they stare out, And I found, pretty much. And I found out that she blinks as well. So these guys are having...
JRPGs are so good.
Completely serious conversation, and there's Donna just blinking with a smile on her face, watching.
Yeah.
Best $2 I spent in a video game. But the story in that's finally... Well, I won't say finally, but the story is picking up a lot more now. I've run into a lot of the previous Class 7 people that I had control over. I've got 4 of them now that I'm supposed to be off doing something with. I didn't get too far with that. But I've completed a bunch of missions with my class, the current Class 7 class. Have met up with a lot of previous characters, and now I've been introduced to the current baddies for this game. And they are just a bunch of crazy people doing dumb, crazy stuff. And...
Oh, so it's 2019.
I mean, they have no interest in destroying the world or whatever. They are just there to cause a little bit of chaos here. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can take that. No one's real serious about anything. So there's kind of like this weird mutual respect that everyone knows that they're powerful and they could both wipe each other out at any given point. But everyone's just kind of screwing around. So it's...
Oh, so it's Dragon Ball.
There's like no real leveling up or anything because everyone's at the same power. But I've run into a couple of those battles where it's supposed to be a really difficult battle, but it was fast and easy for me because I don't know, I over level sometimes when I get bored. So it was nothing for me to win this battle, and at the end of the battle they're acting like, oh, they're all, out of breath and they can't carry on. It's like, no, man, we just wiped this boss in one turn. Freaking stand up, man. Come on. So,
right.
After that, I was feeling in the mood to kind of blow stuff up. So I played a bunch of Rainbow Six Siege. Managed to unlock their Halloween thing where one of their defense operators, I can't remember his name, starts with a K. Haven't played him yet. Yes.
Capcan.
I unlocked a hood for him where he looks like the Reaper now. But I did not have him unlocked yet. So I played a bunch of matches, got my, in-game currency up, and bought him so that way I could put the mask on him. And that's
he's a pretty solid defender
and then
as well.
Once I unlocked him, I'm like, I'm not really feeling this game right now. I mean, I was having fun, but I tried their Halloween event thing where you're basically it's
lethal hide and seek.
And nobody has weapons or anything. It's basically you have hunters that are Sledge and who's the other guy with the hammer?
I don't know. I knew it was Sledge was in it, but there's I think one of them there's 3. I think there's one Pulse because he's got the heartbeat monitor. And who's the other one? I don't know the name of the guy who does the tracking, the movement tracking.
So there's basically these 3 guys that you can pick from, and they only have their hammers.
Yep, and they're all styled like medieval weapons. It's not like a regular hammer. It's like a giant mace or a huge ancient hammer.
And they look like hunters, where they've got like the big witch hats and like the leather coats and all that stuff. And you can choose. See, they're the attackers. The hiders are like these zombie things or monsters. So like one of them's a soldier that looks like a zombie, and there's 3 other ones. I don't really remember what because I only played it twice. I don't remember, but either way,
I know one's Legion Legion, I should say. I know that much because he's the one who throws the poison pins down.
And there was another one that threw like a sticky
I think one is Capcan
or something.
I don't know her name, and Capcan's definitely one of them because he's the one who does the laser trip things in the doors.
Either way, though, I had no clue what I was supposed to be doing in this mode as a hider because it just tells you hide. Okay.
Yep. It doesn't actually mention the fact that your left bumper special ability now is actually to go invisible.
Didn't even know that until just now. So...
Yeah.
And the maps aren't that big. They're like the same random, decent sized maps, but they're not huge or anything. So there's nowhere for you to really hide. And it still gives the attackers the warning if a defender leaves their area. It'll say, defender outside or whatever. So there's no way for you to really hide in this game. So I played 2 matches trying to figure out what to do and wasn't really getting anywhere. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this game for right now. So then I started playing Battlefield 1 because for some reason...
Multiplayer or campaign?
Because for some reason I had that on my Xbox. I guess it must have been on Game Pass or something because I never bought it.
Yeah.
So I started playing that and I played their main... what is it called? Conquest. Where basically you are playing either as an attacker or defender. If you're playing as a defender, you have, I think it's 5 or 6 areas that you're supposed to be defending, but you defend one area at a time. So you have this one sliver of...
Are you thinking of Rush?
They call it, it's either Conquest or something else that starts with a C in this version. But I know it definitely starts with a C.
Okay.
But anyway, so you have this whole map, but you're playing in just a sliver of a map. And you're defending these points, and the attackers need to try to take those points. And they need to try to bring you all the way to the end of this, this chopped up map. And so if they take those points, the game resets, you move on to the next section of the map. Everyone, reallocates and all that fun stuff, and you try to take on more points defending or attacking. And that's actually really fun. This is like the closest thing to Mag that I've played in a long time.
Yep. That sounds really fun.
It's my favorite game mode in Battlefield because it actually corresponds to real life war, where it's like you have these points. When you lose those points, you have to fall back, and then it's this mad dash to fall back to the next point while the other people try and push forwards and shoot at you as you're trying to run away. It's a really solid game mode.
Have the map destruction in here, where it's not so much with the terrain, but the buildings. You can still destroy the buildings and stuff, which I completely forgot about until a cannon took out a wall that I was about to run in front of. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that's this series of games.
Right, the amount of times I've forgotten about that, and then had the Saving Private Ryan sniper in the tower moment, where I am the sniper in the tower, and it's just like, oh hey, look, there's a tank. Yep. Oh wait,
right? Oh no.
But the graphics in this game, I mean, they are really impressive, and they do really well with. I won't say, obviously they don't. You can't capture how it feels to be in a firefight, okay? I'm not going to try to say that with any video game. But they do a really good job sometimes with capturing the confusion of being in a firefight, especially when the line is moving back and forth, and what you thought was the front line is now behind enemy lines. And there are some maps where they put in a fog element, where slowly fog will start to roll in, and next thing you know, the entire map is coated in fog, and you can't see anything.
Oh, wow.
And then next thing you know, there's a Zephyr in the air, and then the Zephyr gets shot down, and then all of a sudden there is a giant flaming wreckage of a big blimp on the map.
Times too, and I was really impressed with the game. Some of the weapons feel kind of off, but I mean, they're based off of old World War I models, so whatever. You're not going to get anything that's great, but the sniper rifles are great in this game. I play sniper almost all the time, and I was able to get back into calculating bullet drop and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if you are of the inclination, give the War Stories mode a go. Throw it on the easy difficulty and give it a shot, because people give that campaign flack, and it's one of the best campaigns for shooters I've played in a long time. It's basically 5 mini campaigns talking about different aspects of the war, and it's genuinely a fantastic
I've started unlocking, not lore, but I got like the information packets, I guess, about specific things while playing the multiplayer, where it's like, oh, you played as an assault class for 30 minutes, and now you've unlocked this thing that you can read or watch talking about, certain people and how they lived throughout the war and all that stuff.
It's pop-up World War I.
So that was pretty interesting, and I'm really enjoying that game. But then I later decided, okay, I want to play a Call of Duty game. And I have Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on my PS4 because it was on Plus forever ago. So I downloaded that and started playing it, and apparently this is the game that nobody likes for Call of Duty.
Is that the near future one with the wall running and the jetpacks? And...
The space one.
I really like it, though.
I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I heard the campaign is really good.
Campaign yet? Just wanted to play multiplayer, but it's like I really like what you can do in this game. I really like the operatives that I've unlocked so far, and the weapons still feel good to shoot. It's just the whole reason I've never bought a Call of Duty game was because of how they went about doing maps originally, and of course I load up this game and there's still like 17 different map packs still at $15, $20 a pop for like 2 maps.
Woof.
So I still can't get behind buying them, but for people who really like it, go for it, whatever. But I played probably about a good 2 hours of that. I'm running into this weird issue with Call of Duty where I will sit there and wait at the load screen for it to put me into a match, and then it'll finally load me into the match, and then it will kick me saying that I was inactive. It's like it's
fantastic.
It happens almost every match. I usually have to sit there and wait about 10-15 minutes before I finally get into a match that it doesn't kick me from. Yeah, it's
weird.
Kind of stupid. Because if I'm inactive, it's because I'm waiting for your dumb server to finish loading its crap so that I can play.
I'm finding a game. I'm here.
I wonder if that's secret code for, you tried to load into a map that was DLC.
Maybe. I don't know. Because it gives you the option, like the old Call of Duties, where you could pick DLC maps or whatnot. And I have it set where I should just be playing the core maps. So I played the future Nuketown where they replaced the E's with 3's. But yeah, besides that, that's all I've been playing. Just dumb shooters mixed with RPGs, Bloodborne. It's a fun time. Yeah.
The usual.
What about you, Boston?
I've been sick this week, so I played a pretty good amount of Stellaris. I
Tell me about your bugs.
That moth was such a jerk. So I said, if you look at my Twitter, there's a very mouthy moth that was not a fan of the United Earth Alliance. I started another game, I think that was before we talked about it last week. I set it to the largest galaxy size that the consoles will allow, which I think is 600 star systems. I set it to only one other AI person, and that AI person started not very technologically savvy. I think they start in the space age. They don't start all the way back in the prehistoric age or anything like that. So I'm finding a lot of they call them like feudal kingdoms. It's basically they don't have the capacity to do space flight, and part of what you can do is set a monitoring station above the planet, and then you can help introduce them to your technology, and depending on how far back they are, that'll depend on how long it takes for you to get them up to the level where they can explore space as well.
Dude, first contact rules don't introduce alien technology.
If you don't like first contact,
well, you can do that if
rules at least.
Well, there are 3 options you can do. One is just watch them and don't do anything, and you'll get 2 types of currency for doing that, basically research currency. The other one is invade, take them over, bring them up by force. That will take very little time, but they're not going to be very happy with you. And the third option is the one I always do, which is like, we come in peace. Here's how to get to space. If you're in the Stone Age, it's going to take us hundreds of years. If you're already sort of in the Atomic Age, it's probably maybe take like 10, 20 years. If you use that third option, they are formed as a protectorate. So basically, you have shown us a lot of technology, so we are under your protection as we get better and better and better. Usually they start out as loyal to you because you've shown them all this technology and you've helped advance their civilization. Except for this one moth jerk who's sort of like, yeah, why should we listen to the United Council of Earth when you guys are all idiots? I was like, okay, wait a minute, man.
Your moth guy is essentially America to the colonies.
Pretty much, where it's like, how dare you try and tell me? It's like the teenage United States. It's just
we don't want no taxation without representation.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And so I essentially gave him a whole bunch of research data and is like, I love Earth. Woo! Yeah, Earth is great. And it's like, okay. And I know. You can be purchased. Yeah. I see. Mothman.
So he is 100% American.
Yes, very much so.
Stick, you will follow me.
That's right. And I don't want to invade you, so I will send you some research data. I'm largely having a lot of fun with it because it's not a passive game. I am managing my empire and managing my planets, but it's not a super intense game. I don't have to be thinking the entire time. I don't have to be 100% laser focused into it. It's not like playing Bloodborne where it's like I need to every shadow can kill me. Everything's yeah, it's like there are times where, I'm going to go a couple of years where I'm just researching a bunch of stuff and building stuff on my planets and nothing is really happening. And right now that is exactly what I want, and it's a good complement to a lot of other stuff I'm playing, like Outer Worlds, where it's like I need to be paying attention to that. I need to be, managing my conversations, but this game I can just do some research. I take that. Other thing I've been playing, Destiny 2, they released like 6 things this week. it's a little crazy. Not a lot to say about any of them, so I'm just going to blow through most of them. The Halloween event is going on right now, Festival of the Lost. Really great seeing everybody running around in really dumb papier-mâché masks because they all have the dotted lines on them and like tape pieces that you can see. It's really good. Like the Haunted Forest is back this time, which is basically you have 15 minutes to get as far as you can in this forest. There's an invincible guy. Please stop attacking him. He has invincible in his name. Just run. Just please.
If it bleeds,
so that's going on. Yeah, it's really great seeing people who this is the first time they've done Festival of the Lost, because they're like, oh great, there's this knight, is the All-Bar Knight. I'm going to use my super, and it just says immune, and they're like, well, maybe if I shoot it. It's like, no, he's just okay. He will one-shot you. That's his job.
Of video gamers is that it moves in this game, I can probably kill it.
100%. So that's around for 2 more weeks, and it's a good time. This year's probably Dungeon got released. This is like Shattered Throne that came out in Forsaken. The Hannah and I unlocked it and tried going and doing it with just 2 people. We were doing okay, but kind of our combined power was a little lower than the dungeon really wanted us to be in, so we didn't bash our head against that wall too much. They released a new exotic, an exotic heavy machine gun that shoots explosive bugs. So I feel like that's the most Destiny thing possible.
That's the most Stargate thing possible.
Yeah, it only holds 13 rounds, so as you can expect, and normally machine guns hold about 400, so this thing hits like a truck.
Yeah, better for 13.
I sadly don't have it yet, and there is a bug with it, so it's not doing, no pun intended. There's a bug with it right now that it's not doing as much damage as it's supposed to. So I'm very curious to see what that thing is once it gets fixed. And lastly, they unveiled a new PvP mode called Momentum Control. I guess it's Halo's SWAT mode, but I have never played SWAT.
SWAT is no shields. All
Interesting.
Of the weapons are the super accurate high damage weapons, like the battle rifle, the pistol, the sniper rifle. There's very little energy stuff in it. It's all just this is going to take you out real quick. It depends,
because that's what got me really good at Halo, was because if you want to one-shot someone, you shoot them in the head once and they're dead. So it really got you to work on finessing your controller to get that one shot as fast as you could, no matter if they were in the air or charging you or whatever. And that's what I really loved about SWAT.
That's interesting. So momentum control, how they've sort of modified that for Destiny is that every gun, no matter what it is, does an incredible amount of damage. Some stuff that's slow firing and very high impact will typically one shot to the head and sort of two tap to the body. But even stuff that's low damage and high fire rate, you're still competitive because it's still going to do an increased amount of damage. Unlike normal Destiny, your skills are not available off the bat, and the only way those charge is by killing enemies. So if you want your grenade, you want your melee, you want your class ability, you have to go kill people for that to charge up. So it has significantly changed Destiny's PvP in that one mode in a way that I think was a lot of fun. I hope they bring it back. I hope they put it in the rotation because I think that coming back would be a lot of fun. Because there's stuff like Mayhem where you just use your supers nonstop. They charge in like 2 or 3 seconds. And there are a lot of other PvP modes, but this one is one of the few modes that feels like this is very gun focused and you want to play with stuff you don't typically play with, and that's going to serve you pretty well. Do you keep your
charge after you die, or do you have to rebuild that charge?
You do keep it, yeah. Yeah. So you're sort of building it up. Supers take a lot longer to charge, and your resistance when you're in your super is significantly lower. So someone can't just control the map in their super, which is really great. So a lot of fun changes, and it sounds like they're going to tweak it a little bit if they bring it back, but it's nice to see them finally paying attention to PvP again after it going literally a year and a half without any changes. People think I'm exaggerating. 0 changes for about 18 months. So
that wasn't a bad thing, because they would come in and just start slicing parts of the PvP and be like, all right, it's fixed. And it's like, no, it's really not. It's even more broke.
No, you removed everything. Yeah, that was basically when they took out that Trials of the Nine mode in year 1. That's when they stopped doing anything with PvP, which has largely been fine, but now that they're focusing on it again, PvP feels like it's in a much, much better... Like, I've been playing a lot of competitive, it's now called survival, and they finally, thank Buddha, have 2 different selections now. One is just survival, 3v3, you can bring in however many people you want, team against team, whatever. And they have a freelance survival mode, which is only single players can queue into that mode. So it's 6 individual people. It's not you and 2 blueberries that's getting stomped by a 3 stack. And it's just like, great, we're never going to win. So that got me up to 2100 this week, because it turns out I'm actually pretty good at survival. So in 15 matches, I got to 2100, which took me an entire season 2 seasons ago. Because thankfully now, the better you do, the more points you get, which is crazy. Even if you lose, if you go 5-0 like I'm typically going, you're going to get 300 points after a match, which is great. And if you lose 4 points. Which is also great, because if I do well and you lose, I shouldn't really get punished.
No.
Destiny 2 is in a really great spot right now, and we have a month left on this current season. Ikora is building a Vex gate in the middle of the tower week over week, which seems like a really dumb idea, seeing as let's not bring the Vex to the one place where humanity still exists. Mm-hmm. But that storyline will wrap up the season and remove all of the seasonal stuff from the game and introduce Season 9 and introduce all that stuff. So I'm very excited to see how they're going to transition between seasons now instead of, here's more stuff to do. It's like, no, we did that stuff, we completed it, here's where the storyline is going. So 2 thumbs up for Destiny, still. And that's all I've been playing this week, so let's take a break. let's talk releases for the week of November 4th, 2019. Just Dance 2020 comes out for the Wii, the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. I think this is our first Stadia release here on the show, so
I think so. Also,
welcome,
probably
Stadia.
The last Wii release.
You don't know that?
Probably.
I mean, okay, so if it's not, then the last Wii release is probably going to be Just Dance 2021.
Right. I feel like I feel like they will keep putting Just Dance out on the Wii until whatever software they're using to make Just Dance will not let them export onto the Wii. Whenever they just cannot get it to work, then that last PC dies.
It's so prevalent that even in the company that I am working for, I have found a Wii that is currently on my desk. And a month later, a different tech found a Wii board. So
wow. Every building in America will have a Wii.
This company is not in the medical community at all. I don't know why they had a Wii and a Wii board.
That's great. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 comes out on the Switch.
Shockingly good party games.
Yeah, and boy, does that pixel mode look really good. If anyone hasn't seen the pixel version of that game, you should really go check that out. Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out on PC. Talking about a really good-looking game. Yeah, like, you make your video card sweat, but God, that game looks really good. Valfaris comes out on the PS4 on the 5th and Xbox One on the 8th.
It sounds like a you and Nimp kind of game, just off the name alone.
No, it is the company that made... oh God, what was that metal platforming game? I don't remember. This is basically a incredible. It looks like a death metal album cover, but it's a platforming game in space.
Really does. It looks like an 80s death metal cover.
Yep, it looks incredible, and I have heard really great things about it.
Heavy metal-infused 2D action platformer, and the next game from the team behind Unity Awards finalist Slain Back from Hell, Brutal Combat, Deadly Enemies.
There it is. Slain Back from Hell, the game that tried to do that, and so everyone seems to think it sort of wasn't a great game. Sounds like they really nailed it this time.
Mm-hmm.
Death Stranding, coming out this Friday on PS4. I've got it pre-ordered because I want to go along for the ride, and all the negatives I have seen from reviews and impressions and stuff all sound really good to me, so...
I cannot wait to hear you explain this to your daughter.
So there are these monsters, and I make these grenades. I've been trying to I read Kotaku's review. Heather, I don't remember her last name. She wrote an incredible non-spoilery review about it. I would wholeheartedly recommend that one. I'm trying to keep myself as in the dark as possible, just to go along for the Kojima ride. Jim O'Jangles in chat says, "Go along for the walk." You mean? Yes. Yeah. Go along for the cross country walk. I'm excited for a Kojima thing to be released again, and I will definitely try and play as much of it as I can before next week's show and try and talk about it.
Next week we don't have a show.
Cool. So
it's 2 weeks.
We won't be talking about it next week. Doing the mailbag, so I'll try and pump in as much time as I can over the next week and a half to try and come with.
Yep.
I wish. Yeah.
PS4 remote play from the plane.
Yeah, there you go.
Live that high life.
Next up is Layton's. Try that again. Layton's Mystery Journey: Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition comes out on the Switch. So this is like the Layton sequel / spin-off after Professor Layton put in his time, and I don't know what happened at the end. He escaped from the Devil's Deal. I don't know. And now that was Cuphead. But yeah, there's another one of these games. I heard this one's pretty good. So, Need for Speed Heat gets a sudden release on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
The most not talked about video game ever.
They announced that 2 years ago at E3, I think, and been literally nothing about it until I looked at the release sheet this week and went, oh, right. Okay, that's coming out.
So, might as well call it Need for Speed Anthem at this point.
Yeah, I have no idea about anything. So
nobody does. They literally haven't shown a thing.
Yeah, we'll find out when the embargo lifts, I guess.
Maybe.
Really weird.
The embargo lifts on the day it comes out and everybody can buy the game, because they sure ain't giving this thing out to people to look at beforehand.
Yeah, probably a good call. And lastly, new Super Lucky's Tale comes out on the Switch. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about news stories here. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot talked about the delayed games. We talked about this last week, where they delayed a handful of games. He talked to investors this week saying all of those delayed games are also coming to PS5 and Scarlet. He says, quote, the 5 titles, yes, they will be on this generation and the next generation. And then continues to say, you will be able to download new content a lot faster. Players will experience better frame rates. There are a lot of good elements that will come to these new machines, end quote. So that's...
Is that a buy them once and have them both thing?
Yeah, like that's... I think that's still the big question here for a lot of us, which is sort of saying, like, so do I just buy the PlayStation version and it's like Sneak King and it works on my PS4 and my PS5 and it just does whatever? Or are you going to Ubisoft it up and sell me 2 different copies?
Ubisoft aren't too bad about that.
That's true. I'm thinking of EA.
To be honest, if they wanted to do like a little $2-3 upcharge to get the next generation version as well,
sure,
I would be okay with that if it wasn't for the microtransactions rammed down our throats with every single video game out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
So screw off if you think I'm paying twice for the same game, if you want to shove microtransactions in everything you put in.
And part of it for me is like, I'm excited mostly for Watch Dogs Legion. The rest of them are sort of like, those all look good. But for me, if I know Watch Dogs is going to come out on PS4 and PS5, and I know I'm going to get a PS5, I'll just wait and play it on my PS5. Like, I don't need to play it day one. I can just wait for it to come out. If it's not coming out on both platforms day and date, I'll just wait for it on the PS5, and like that can be my PS5 launch game.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't really going to bother me that much. So
that and the hard drive full of 300 other games that you have, which better just straight be a plug-in and transfer it.
I only have the stock 1 terabyte drive in my PS4, so I don't have that many games installed, and I have a lot of screenshots and saved clips of Destiny 2 that I need to get off of there and free up some hard drive space. Whoops. So that'll be interesting. I feel like that's the first. This is really the first cross-generational game.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah, like acknowledgement, and also like statement of intent from really any big publisher, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna land on this next generation. Other than something like what's the next Halo Infinite?
Yes.
Other than Halo Infinite saying like, this is Scarlet, this is a launch game. Like, we know that's gonna land on there. But obviously Microsoft's going to push that because they're the platform holder. But next news story here, Disco Elysium is planned for consoles in 2020. The developers came out and said in a bunch of interviews this last week, they want to do the port in-house, so they're not going to hand it over to someone else, which sort of unfortunate because a lot of those porting houses do a really great job nowadays.
I mean, how is Dave Lang going to feed his kids?
Exactly. Not with Disco Elysium money. Although I think they did Overwatch on Switch, so they're probably okay.
Probably fine.
Yeah. They also mentioned that they think it's going to work really well with a controller because the game is primarily dialogue based, where you're picking dialogue from a menu as opposed to like a point and click RPG or anything like that. So I was trying to figure out how I would squeeze this game into 2019 if that was humanly possible. Spoiler alert, it's not. So now I'm glad to know I can wait until 2020 and see what they're going to do on consoles, because I would happily pick that up on PS4/PS5.
I was hyped about Oberdin coming out this year, and then, oh wait, look, you've still got 4 AAA games that you have that you need to beat by the time Game of the Year rolls around.
Yeah. Yeah. And last news story this week, Blizzard kicked off BlizzCon this week. Probably the most anticipated BlizzCon of the history of BlizzCon, mostly for the protests and to see what people were going to do. Blizzard was screening Q&A questions just before anyone asks.
Shocker.
Yeah. The big 3 things they announced were Diablo 4. Let's just go through them one by one. Diablo 4, most importantly, no release date. So Moon and I said at the beginning, pre-show, probably 5 years out if we were to guess. Definitely not going to be landing in 2020. Developing it for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, so PC, PS5, and Scarlet. No mention of Switch, which I guess sort of makes sense, even though Diablo 3 has been a runaway success on Switch. They released a 5.5-hour cinematic trailer that you can watch. It's 9.5 minutes. You can watch it now. It's really great. And a 1.5-minute gameplay trailer that also looks fairly good. I feel like I'm the only one around that's not super into the art style. They're going back to Diablo 2 with this super grim, dark, ultra-realistic art style. And
I haven't seen it, to be honest. I've made my choice with regards to this year's BlizzCon and Blizzard in general, which is I'm going to take a step back for a while, I think. So I literally haven't seen anything other than screen caps I scroll past on Twitter.
I was watching the cinematic trailer just to see what they were doing. And it looks nice, but, CG looks real nice nowadays, so...
So far...
CG has always been godlike. I mean, come on.
So far, the gameplay stuff looked fine. It's supposed to be a smaller world that has no fast travel, and instead you're riding around on mounts as your sort of faster movement. So
Dark Souls as a Diablo game?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, so much of it sort of sounds like it's missing a lot of what I enjoyed about Diablo 3. Diablo 3 sort of being a faster experience. They're saying they're bringing back seasons, they're bringing back rifts, they're bringing back a lot of stuff that people really liked in 3. But I don't have to worry about it because it's not going to come out anytime in like the next 5 years. So
the amount of the heat death of the universe is going to come first.
No, that's the next Binding of Isaac.
I thought that was Half-Life 3.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm not super worried about that one yet. They announced World of Warcraft Shadowlands, which I have seen a lot. It's the exact opposite of like when I talk to Diablo about Destiny 2 to a lot of people. We're like, cool, that's a lot of space words all in once. It's like, yeah, that's a lot of World of Warcraft stuff all at once that is improving factions and mounts and zones and MMOs.
I can't remember who I was listening to talk about this, but it makes me laugh because the cycle beginneth anew. Yeah. Because World of Warcraft OG, World of Warcraft was Horde versus Alliance.
Yes.
Then it was, I think it was Burning Crusade, which was you added a third faction in there that they both had to work against.
Yep.
And then it was Wrath.
Right.
And then it was Cataclysm, essentially. They're the big steps for it.
Yeah.
So with the newest World of Warcraft update, they went back to Horde versus Alliance.
Yeah, like the friendliness shattered.
They reset the timeline, one might say, because now it looks like they're heading back towards nudging towards Wrath of the Lich King again. It's like, okay, so you're just doing the whole same thing you did a couple of decades ago? Okay, sure.
The loop is never broken.
Nope.
Yeah. They also announced Overwatch 2, which has been leaked for a while. The best cliff notes I can give you for Overwatch 2 is that it is Battleborn. After Overwatch killed Battleborn, it just took its corpse, Weekend at Bernie style, reanimated it, and said,
"It Diablo'd it."
Yeah, like, here you go. There's a new mode called Push, where you escort along a talking thing along a circuitous map, which is very much Battleborn. There's a lot of PvE stuff. There's some amount of stuff that is going to be shared between the two games. It sounds like Overwatch 2 is going to be focused more on the PvE stuff and larger maps, larger experiences. And then Overwatch 1 is going to be PvP focused. But again, there's no real release date, so who knows how much can change before this game eventually probably doesn't come out.
I hope that Randy Pitchford is throwing a hissy fit.
He usually is for unrelated stuff, so probably.
True.
Yeah. But I think the thing that's really tough is Blizzard came out and attempted an apology at the very top of the keynote for BlizzCon, which is like, we're sorry, we acted rashly, we made decisions without talking to you guys, the fans, about the whole BlizzCon thing. Let's get on to the reveals. And like, they didn't do anything. This would have been a really great example for them to say, like, look, we made a mistake. We heard what you guys are saying. We're going to reverse his ban. We're going to, even if they reverse the ban and said, like, we still love China, but we're not going to ban this guy, that would have made a lot of inroads. But they basically said, like, we're sorry, we take full responsibility for this. On to the trailers. So that was hugely disappointing.
We take full responsibility by not doing anything about it.
Right, like, we say the words "I'm sorry," which is a lot better in 2019 than a lot of non-apologies we get, where usually they're like, we understand we upset you as fans, and you guys were upset. On to the trailers. But
this is the ultimate of I'm sorry your feelings were hurt. I did nothing wrong. I'm sorry your feelings were hurt.
They actually did say, the president of Blizzard did say, I am sorry, I take full accountability. Mm-hmm. So it's better than it's better than the non-apologies we get, but it's worse because this is a do nothing apology. Where it's like, we made a mistake, we're not doing anything to fix it. Though.
That's what I'm saying. No, this isn't an I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Mm-hmm. Let me see how I can change to fix that. This is I'm sorry your feelings were hurt.
I'm sorry we got caught doing something. Yeah. I'm sorry you guys got upset at something we did that was really stupid, but it still stands. And don't talk anything bad about China.
Yeah, there's a whole rash of interviews out there talking about how they still promote free speech and so on and so forth. 2 months ago, somebody had to delete a post they put on Twitter because Blizzard didn't want them to do it. It's like...
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real bummer because I think all of these announcements could have re-energized the Blizzard fan base and the video game fans in general had they just apologized and reversed the ban, or at least changed their policy and said, like, we hear you guys about our favoritism towards China, and here's what we're going to do to change it. And as a fix for a lot of your issues, on top of that, here's all the cool stuff we're working on right now. But it all had this black cloud over it because it was like, look at all this cool stuff that you're all going to boycott anyway. So, unless you have the normal internet memory, which is like, hashtag boycott China. Oh my God, Overwatch 2.
Which looks like it's already happening, and I do not like that one bit. Because you literally go and walk into, I don't know, middle of nowhere, Idaho.
Yep.
Stand in the town center and say, I'm taking away your rights to free speech.
Right.
And watch as you get very quickly Second Amendmented.
Right.
But then you do the same thing to a crowd of video game people who care so much about their fancy skins.
Right.
That it's like, No, that's fine. I won't say nothing bad about this situation and this very, whether you like it or not, very sincere and serious issue with global politics.
Right.
I'm going to ignore that situation because I want my fancy skins.
Because Diablo 4 is dark again, like I wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bummer. I'm right now. I'm.
Will.
Oop, go ahead.
I have my beliefs. I have my stance. I will not blame anybody if they want to go out and play these games because they're like I discussed this during DBF. Like, if you want to support the teams, if you want to support the crew behind it,
right,
great. But at the same time, you're also supporting the corporation. Right. Isaac got its DLC that I've been waiting how many years for, and I still haven't bought it because I don't know if I want to support that specific publisher.
Exactly.
And I've put 100 and change hours into that game, like, easy.
Right. Yeah.
And I am hesitant over that specific issue because I don't know if I want to support that.
Yeah. I'm very much in the same position here where it's like none of this stuff. Diablo 4 is the thing I would care about, but it's not going to come out anytime soon, so it's not one of those things where it's like it's come out in 2 months, so
it's not a
make your choice.
3 concern.
Right, and it's like I'm very concerned about where the bed that Blizzard is making, and it will be one of those things where it's sort of like, yeah, Diablo 4 is going to come out. I'm going to have to make a very conscious decision whether or not I want to support what they're doing in general, and that's. Like Borderlands, it's a larger conversation, I think, than Borderlands 3. Because Borderlands 3 is sort of like, your CEO just kind of personally is kind of a butt, and really don't like that.
Don't worry about this is not a game as a service game.
Right.
Kind of lies and BS along the way.
Whoops, but it is.
There's a lot of talking out of both sides of the mouth, and the simple fact of throwing people under the bus that have nothing to do with the company anymore. And it's like, no, I'm not going to support you if you're gonna be childish.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting for a while to see how we're gonna feel about Blizzard, because it's not a small thing that they have chosen to do.
And it sucks.
And we haven't really talked about it on the show because it's changing a lot.
It sucks that now, instead of having to make a choice on buying a video game, making it based off of, well, is this a good game or not, I now have to think about, okay, what has this company done recently? What has, the talking head, the CEO, whatever, what's going on with them?
Right. Are they harboring abusers? Like, that's my big thing about ToeJam Earl 3. I've crossed that off of my top 10 list this year because they're harboring abusers, and that's a huge problem for me, and I don't think I should support a company that knowingly and willfully does that. And that sucks. So all right, let's move on to questions here since I'm rapidly running out of time. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, what was the last game you went to a midnight launch for? What was the last game you stayed up for a midnight launch? I've never done a midnight launch. The closest I did was, I think it was Rock Band 2 or 3. I went with Brad and I went to Best Buy as soon as Best Buy opened. I think it was Rock Band 2. And we waited in front of the store for it to open. But that was at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
I waited at a GameStop for Skyrim with a bunch of other people. Fancy dragon.
There you go. Yeah. At least that's like a big launch that turned out pretty well.
The other time, I remember doing it for the original Black Ops with a bunch of work people because we had all called into work, and so did our boss. And next thing you know, we were all on party chat playing Black Ops.
Great. That's awesome.
Yep.
Last midnight release I can remember was Pokemon Silver Gold. The old Game Boy Advance games, because after that I just got lazy and I was like, I I ain't doing this no more.
It's midnight. Come on.
The last one I stayed up for was pretty much every time a new game comes out, because then I look at the clock and it's like, oh, I can play that game now because it's 2 a.m. Wait, it's 2 a.m.
Right.
I should have been in bed like 4 hours ago.
Yeah, being in California, that usually works out in my favor because...
Yeah, like 9 p.m. lucky son of
Yeah, like the Outer Worlds came out at 9 p.m. It's like, cool, I can put like an hour or two in there before going to bed and then making poor sleep decisions that surely won't affect me taking care of a child the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been the midnight release type of guy.
No, not anymore.
Most of the games I've been interested in don't come out midnight release. Where it's like Final Fantasy 15, our line up at midnight. It's like, nah, man.
Thing too. I try to buy mostly from publishers, developers, straight from them. That way they can get more of the money, right. Which usually means that they're shipping it to my house anyway. So like Cold Steel 3, I got that directly from NIS. I got it the day before. Started playing that as soon as it came in the mail.
Nice. Yeah. He also asked, did you watch or play anything spooky in October? Now that we're getting towards Thanksgiving/Christmas, do you have any holiday gaming or entertainment traditions?
I played a ton of Anthem, and that's pretty spooky.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just kidding. I actually kind of like that game, but we'll get to that later this year.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Halloween events and everything, and Dead by Daylight being a constant throughout the course of this year, gaming-wise.
I feel like every game lately has had Halloween events, and I really dig it.
Well, a game's a service game, that's why.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, I can't wait for the spooky Elite Dangerous Halloween event where just giant skulls start flying through the sky at you.
That'd be great.
Rocket League, I think, was the only, and what little bit of Rainbow Six Siege that I played recently, but Rocket League was the only one that had a Halloween theme that I was like, all right, yeah, let's play that. But I don't really...
Yeah.
Bloodborne, I just happened to start in October. It wasn't like, oh, this is, a freaking game, let's play that for Halloween. It was just, no, that's when the bug bit me. I know I used to have a December tradition of my wife and I would sit down and play through Parasite Eve.
Right. Oh, yeah, right.
That's a good game.
Yep. It's a Christmas game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Parasite Eve is the Die Hard of video games. Is that what we're getting at here?
There you go. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think if I have any holiday gaming traditions like that. I don't even think I have any like movie traditions around. We try and watch as many Christmas movies as we can.
Watch The Grinch or something
during
or
Christmas
Elf?
Anyway. Yeah.
Oh, get away from me with that Will Ferrell BS. Oh,
wow, hot take.
Really don't like him.
Okay.
My one holiday tradition that I have actually takes place in 2 days, and it's the 5th of November, which means I have to sit down and watch V for Vendetta.
That's right.
Because you heathens over here don't celebrate Guy Fawkes Night, even though it should never be forgot.
We would screw it up something fierce.
Well, you guys already have like your fireworks celebration stuff in June and July. I mean, come on.
That's right.
What do we have in June that's fireworks?
This is what makes me... I don't bloody know, dude.
I don't either, and I'm American. This is new to me.
I mean, that's the funny thing is, like, that's one of the reasons I love 5th of November is because if you want to have fireworks and big fires and stuff like that, November's the perfect time for it because it's just on the right side of cold where you can stand by the fire and keep warm, and it goes dark real early, so you get fireworks for like 9 hours.
It's not the middle of summer.
Mm-hmm.
Maximus Prime in Discord asks us a question with a little bit of a lead in here. He says, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare has been an incredible experience, not because the game is incredible, for me in some ways it is, but because it's a strange time warp. Throughout my time with it, I've felt such strong nostalgia. It's mind-twisting because the game is not Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or 3, which, as a non-Call of Duty fan, as an aside, that whole sentence is crazy.
Yeah,
but it gives me some great feelings. I haven't had for nearly a decade. This finally, he put that in caps, brings me to my question. what new game have you played that gave you such a sense of nostalgia that made you feel like you were booting up a time machine of joy every time you grabbed a controller and started playing? Happy fall gaming season, y'all.
Outer Worlds.
That was my answer.
100% takes me back to New Vegas and
Mass Effect.
Protocol.
Yep. For me, it's like playing Mass Effect again, where it's like I've got this smaller experience with focused on story and world building and characters, and it's not this plop you down into an open world and then go make your own fun.
Yeah, I get like all kinds of weird nostalgia feeling. Like I said last time, I get like Borderlands, Fallout. There's some BioShock in there every once in a while. I mean, it's all over the place, and it's great.
It's a great gumbo. Jimbo Jangles in chat says Link's Awakening, 100%. I feel like I talked about, they did that game such a service by not really changing it. Like, they made some quality of life improvements with the map and some minor stuff in the game, but like, they didn't really mess with a good thing.
Control for me. Like, whenever I booted that game up, I got that warm sensation of the absolutely crazy games that used to exist on like the PlayStation 2 and the Dreamcast era, specifically the Japanese slanted games where it's just like, here is a bunch of ideas that we fired into a paint gun and then add a wall and then let's see what happens.
Can you make it for less than $1 million? Go make it. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think if there's anything else lately. Not really.
Well, every time I play Dead by Daylight, I get this warm sensation of what happened last week, but I don't think that quite counts.
Sure. I think that's just the battle pass washing over you.
Excuse me. It's a season pass.
The blood pass.
I think playing...
all the charms twinkling in front of your eyes.
Bloodborne's reminded me of anxiety issues that I never remember having.
Well...
Right.
Where is the closest save point?
Demon Souls. Yeah. All right, that's our episode for this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everyone to find and follow us on the right hand side of the page. Remember, we don't have a regularly scheduled episode next week. It will be a mailbag episode. Thank you, everyone, for sending your questions.
That episode for it.
Yeah, that episode...
the craziest game of the year comes out next week, and we don't have an episode.
It's the worst timing. Next year, vacation in, like, June. And nothing's happening.
Pre-Madden. That's
yes.
the cutoff point.
I'll tell my family, you have to meet the pre-Madden slow season. And then they just kick me out of the party chat. So nothing going on next week for streaming or anything. Check an episode there. The video version of that will be on. We did record a video of it, so that'll be on YouTube. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. All the cool behind-the-scenes stuff. A really long one this week because I had technical issues with my streaming setup. So we just talked a lot about that. And there's an outtake from We Rogue Like It, which is not always the thing.
Don't forget.
We did a whole lot of vamping.
Go to the store.
Yes. Go check the merchandise link on the right-hand side of the page, tvgp.tv, for our We Know shirt. As the Nimp kindly pointed out, the parchment color that's recommended is really the right. You can I put a lot of colors on there, so like I don't want to put you in a box or anything. Pick whatever color you want. But the parchment color is the recommended tint.
Will really bring the color out in your eyes.
That's right. I think that's it. We're still playing Dream Daddy for Game Club. That's coming up soon. I gotta finish that game. My Drew Scanlon daddy has to finish that game.
Dude, I gotta start that game.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's pretty short. This is why we don't play a Game Club game in December. I'm running out of time. That's our episode this week, so we'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 Hit me with your titles, Nimp.
All right. I bought it sight unseen. Nail Glamour. Thumb Ring Charm. Mothy Mouth. Or Mothy... crap. What did you say? Mouthy Moth? Mouthy Moth?
Mouthy Moth?
Either by carrot or stick, and just you randomly shouting out "Thank Buddha."
Either by carrot or stick. All right, Moon, what do you got?
The dumbest of releases, Homegrown Killers, which feels a little close to the headlines.
Yeah, I've got that one written down too. We'll see how it fares.
Sometimes life gets in the way. Poverty is the common theme. Space D-bag. Crit Life Baby. Sorry. Crit Life Baby. A Game of Inches. Possibly vetoed.
I feel like we've probably had a title like that before.
Probably. You're telling me it's a charm. Lethal Hide and Seek. That Moth Was a Jerk. Go Along for the Walk. The Die Hard of video games. A lot of longins on my side.
Yeah. I have Homegrown Killers. They have charms. So you're saying it's a charm. Mouthy Moth, either by carrot or stick, or Crit Life Baby.
I'm trying to think of anything that jumps. Go through that list again, please.
Homegrown Killers. They have charms. Probably my vote, so you're saying it's a charm. Mouthy Moth, I'll check that one too. Either by carrot or stick, or Crit Life Baby.
Mm-hmm. And Jimbo in chat says long range like myself.
Let's not brag, Nimp. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. The longest of ranges.
I like Mouthy Moth, and so you're saying it's a charm.
I like that. I like the charm one. I mean, Mouthy Moth is good. It's
just fun to say.
It's good alliteration. It's a good, tight, compact one.
Mm-hmm.
But you're telling me it's a charm is very on brand for this show.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of Nimp, of course.
So what did I say? Did I say, so you're saying it's a charm, or you're telling me it's a charm?
I think telling me it's a charm, because Nimp was describing it, and you were like, so you're telling me it's a charm.
Okay. So you're telling me it's...
What about you, Nimp? Mouthy Moth or charm?
I am good with charm.
Okay. I will circle that one, because I like charms. All right, let me know when you guys are ready.
Mm-hmm, I'm ready. I'm probably going to get muted, but I'm ready.
Oh, God, are you going to yell?
No.
Is this going to be racist?
I'm going to push the...
Yes, Moon shows the first racist bone in his body years into his tenure on the show.
Damn those Irish people.
Yeah, that's right. Wait a minute.
Dude, I'm from Liverpool. I don't get to say nothing about the Irish. Actually, I can say everything about the Irish because, as I was once called by an Irishman in an airport, I'm just a confused Irishman because I'm from Liverpool.
That sounds like a very Irish thing to say.
Yes. No, I'm good. We'll see. It should be fine. I'm not going to push. I'm not going to push the limits of acceptability that much.
I should be all right. Maybe. I don't know.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 628 for November 4th, 2019. So you're telling me it's a charm?
I love dangly bits.
You'll find it in a cereal, maybe.
Dangly bits. All right, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out live with us.
I'm curious if he mutes me or not in the intro.
Nah, I'll keep it. If you're on Mixer, stop. we'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm gonna be on vacation. Peace out.
See you, everyone.
And we can stop recording.